Oh, Niasa has a question for you.
Mr. Musa, before this idea of emergency powers came up, there's been that argument about the presidency having too many powers. Now, asking for emergency powers, is that not asking for too much?
In a presidential system, naturally, the president will have too many powers, but those powers are they have checks and balances. Mind you, the National Assembly can impeach the president if they so wish, because it's there stated. If the president is going against the wishes of the people, the National Assembly, as representative of the people, can impeach the president. And also the National Assembly has oversight function, powers, which is on them. They have the power to question any action of the president. So I think whatever the powers are given to the president, there are checks and balances that are put there. If those who are given the power to check the excesses of the president fail to do that, then it's a different thing. But we cannot say that we don't have the process. So I still believe that it is a matter of everybody trying to do his work accordingly. While the president is, will be focused on implementing things that he thinks should get us out of this, the National Assembly, as a representative of the people, they have a duty, a responsibility to make sure that the president and his team, in the process of exercising their power, in the process of getting us out of this situation, they did not think that are contrary to the provision of the Constitution. So for me, I think that fear is unfounded, because in any presidential system, definitely the president is powerful, and it is because if you check how it started, is because we need a situation whereby we have somebody who has Nigeria as a single constituency. Okay. That is why much more powers are given to the president.
If we can just backtrack a little bit, Mr. Musa, would you say that the National Assembly has been able to check the excesses, in quote, of the president, as the case may be, going back in time? And how would that be now that you're asking for emergency powers?
Well, I'm afraid the National Assembly, we may not say it has lived up to its expectation in checking the excesses of the executive in the past. Even now, I think, and that has to do with the quality of representation that has been sent. In a situation whereby those are things that we have to check, the leadership recruitment system in Nigeria.
Not because the presidency can bully members.
Certainly no. Yes, that is not. You need to check the leadership recruitment system, where you elect people who doesn't even understand what is their role, what are the basic things that they are supposed to do. Where people come to the National Assembly with a mindset that they are coming for business, they invest their money, they want to recoup it, then certainly you will not see those people checking the executive excesses, because the moral ground for them to do that is not there. What they think is they want to see a situation whereby they will get some corrupt executive officers to connive and see how they fund economic from the Nigerian system, as we have seen in the recent issue of the budget pardon. So I think the National Assembly performed well in that aspect. I really majority of people who doesn't of the people at heart, or rather people whose main essence of coming to the National Assembly is not to serve people, but rather to just to see how they can be able to feast on the Nigerian cake for their own benefit, not for the benefit of the constituents that have elected them into office.
Yeah, but Mr. Musa, if I could jump in there, but you know, there are those who also think that, first of all, they don't see any reason. I mean, in the line of those who still think they don't see any need for that, they believe that, number one, there are many researchers who believe that we've got well over 200 mineral resources scattered in different states, different parts of this country, and that we've not made use of that, because some of them actually think that you could make states could actually make about $1 billion. I was surprised to read that. $1 billion to many states who have these resources. They think we have to, first of all, make use of all of those and then when we exhaust it, before we think, look, we've done all we can, and then seek emergency powers. But now it appears as though it's placing the cart before the horse, if indeed they're going to seek those powers.
But this is really exactly what I think the government is trying to do. If you look at what is out as part of the emergency powers, is to fast track the access to the Nigeria by investors. Because what I'm trying to say is that how can you be able to harness those natural resources that are scattered all over Nigeria without you having foreign investors coming in with capital to do that? That is why part of what we see in the papers is to make entry visas easily, so that those investors who want to come and invest in the natural resources of the Nigeria, the solid mineral resources that are scattered all over, will get it. Will have an easy access to Nigeria. So also the issue of removing bottlenecks with regard to registration of companies, with regard to getting some approval here and there.
You need emergency powers for that?
Don't
they all lie within executive powers?
There are situations whereby, because there are already laid down procedures. So what the emergency powers are saying is that these are things at a normal situation we can afford to follow all those things. But now that we are in dire need of things to be done quickly, let us suspend the use of those administrative bottlenecks. Let us speed up things so that people can be able to come in. We will have a capital inflow to make sure that the economy gets moving. I think these are the things that the emergency powers are trying to do.
Let me chip this in then, Mr. Musa. So from your submission, it does appear as though what the emergency powers will be seeking, if at all it surfaces, is to give the president excessive powers, bypass all the bureaucratic bottlenecks, and then he takes that decision all by himself. That wouldn't be good for democracy, would it?
No. That is not the issue. And I think, assuming that is what you're saying, there is, when you check the leadership theories, one of the good advantage of let's say, in court, dictators is the fast-track development. But in this situation, I'm not speculating that we are trying to create dictator in the president, because you cannot have a dictatorship under the present arrangement of the Constitution. All what we are saying is that we are not giving him any excessive powers. What we are saying is that with his team, they can be able to fast-track things. Of course, the National Assembly will still look at it. I don't think there is anything to fear about, because whatever it is for the benefit of Nigeria. It is being called emergency powers. It's just for meantime, probably for 1 year, to see how it goes in getting us out of this situation. That is my understanding.
1 year. 1 year of the president having no limits, no boundaries, so to speak, because what you're saying now is let the president, it's as if the president has been tied to a leash and we need to let him loose. Is that what you're asking for?
I'm not comfortable with saying that without any. Just look at what is out there. It's the issue of to speed up the process. The issue of increasing the mobilization fee, the issue of doing away with long process of procurement, which takes about 6 months before you can even award a contract. The issue of easing Nigeria by private investors, and the issue of foreign reserve, and also making Naira more strong, which is from there. Then the other issues of making business registration and business going on easier. I can't see how this part will be making the president without having any access. I don't believe so.
Mr. Musa, we have to take another moment now. Sunrise did it back in just a moment. Studios again. Our concluding moment here with Mr. Sanusi Musa, who's a legal practitioner. You know how very strongly the National Assembly holds the power of appropriation. It's one of the major powers that the Constitution confers on them. If this powers that the President is seeking for, determines or suspends or asks to suspend the National Assembly's powers on appropriation, do you think that the National Assembly will be right to resist it?
I can assure you the President cannot ask for powers to suspend the powers of the National Assembly from appropriation, because it's a constitutional power, which is stated under Section 58 and 59 of the Constitution. No President have the power to do anything about it. Even the National Assembly cannot say that it is given out those powers, because it's a constitutional issue. I don't think that is, and I have not seen anything in what is out that is indicating that the President is trying to take away the constitutional power. The only thing that is there is issue of environment, which I think it is very important for us, because the executors of the budget are the executive. So where they realize that some money that is appropriated in particular area, and it may not be enough for us to execute that project, and we need it to complete a particular project which is very critical for the economy. I think it is important for following a little bit of procedure which is more easier for that money to be wired from that particular project to the other one, so that we can have, instead of having a scattered, uncompleted project here and there, we can have a complete project that will make an impact in the economy. So for me, honestly, I can't see how this will go against the powers of the National Assembly to appropriate. It is impossible. The President cannot do that. It's unconstitutional to do that. And I have not seen anything in the powers that is being requested by the executive.
Well, thank you so much for coming on Sunrise Daily.
Thank you.
We've been speaking with Sanusi Musa, who is a legal practitioner, discussing the President's maybe soon to be presented request for emergency powers. Sunrise Daily will take a moment and continue in just a bit. To join us again.